amalgamation of planetary scraps? What do you think it could be? You know what it looks like to me? It looks like Battleworld from Marvel's Secret Wars. Yeah, I know what you're probably thinking. Are we really going there? And yes, we are. Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of Why Mess vs. the Internet. I'm your host Kingman, and today we're going to be doing The Beyonder. The mysterious, all-powerful Beyonder may be the embodiment of another multiverse, or he may have arisen from a cosmic cube experimented on by the Molecule Man, or he may be an inhuman mutant. In any case, he began as, or became, a non-corporeal entity who, intrigued by humans, created a planet combining elements from various worlds. He christened it Battleworld and gathered a clutch of superheroes and villains on it to watch them fight. However, the Beyonder soon grew tired of just looking on. Virtually omnipotent, the Beyonder can change reality just by thinking. He has assumed various physical forms, created planets, destroyed galaxies, and taken control of every mind on Earth. Alright, so let's jump into it. First up on Google, we have Beyonder versus Thanos. Alright, we got two powerful characters. Wondering how they're going to play this one out. Alright, this person is the Beyonder. Nice showcasing of Beyonder when he's looking like a human. Versus H-O-T-U Thanos. Who do you think would win and why? Alright, so a little bit of explaining here. Heart of the Universe is what that acronym is standing for here. Heart of the Universe Thanos, which allows him to control arguably a small segment of the One Above All. It's supposed to be a universal force that's greater than any other artifact or item or any other sort of power-up in the Marvel multiverse, is the idea. So let's go on. The first one is Beyonder did exactly that, but he didn't absorb them though. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't read these comics, so I'm not sure what he's referring to. I'll move on to that one. So who wins in your opinion? That's what I'm asking. Hasn't this been done before? Like hundreds of times? LMO. Thanos wins in a very close battle. So this person thinks Thanos with the Heart of the Universe would win, which is interesting because you would think that they could do the same thing. The Heart of the Universe allows Thanos to be a multiversal threat, same as Beyonder. We don't know if this would allow Thanos to do anything to the Beyondverse, though, something that exists outside the multiverse. Because if you're having a power that is generated from the One Above All, he is the embodiment of the multiverse. He's the governor of it all. And so if we go with the idea that he can't affect something outside the multiverse, or not that he can't affect it, but if part of his power, which is what the Heart of the Universe is, affects kind of like in the same constraints as the Infinity Gauntlet, if it can only affect that universe, just like the Heart of the Universe can only affect that multiverse, is it powerless against something outside of the multiverse? I'm not entirely sure. However, this person is leaning towards that road, and I can understand. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, this person is answering that pre-retcon Beyonder, Heart of the Universe, works multiversal. Pre-retcon is beyond, then hence Beyonder. Now, this is interesting because they do say pre-retcon Beyonder, and the pre-retcon Beyonder is amazingly powerful. He's arguably supposed to be going toe-to-toe with the One Above All in terms of omnipotence. So he can do just about anything. However, I wouldn't say that he's equal to the One Above All, but he's about as close as a character would probably come to in the Marvel franchise. So I can see what this person's talking about. The next person is talking about how, the Heart of the Universe defeated Living Tribunal, is what LT is standing for there. Living Tribunal, who himself is an omniversal being. And that's true because he's using a power that came from the One Above All. So nothing kind of outranks that in this kind of mini-series, which is actually non-canon anymore, unfortunately. It would have fixed a big problem in Marvel. If you don't know about this story, go ahead and look it up. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's Thanos with the Heart of the Universe, and the writers were poking fun at the idea that Marvel is constantly resurrecting its characters, and this story was supposed to stop that from happening. But then Marvel decided that they were going to make this non-canon so they can keep doing that. So it washed the whole thing away. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Marvel should have stayed with it and been like, hey, we should not resurrect people anymore? Let me know in the comments section down below. Alright, moving on. The next person. He's not the strongest omniversal being. He's the strongest in the multiverse. Alright, so yeah, this person is saying that, like I said, really what it comes down to when you're comparing power levels of like cosmic entities, it all comes down to authority. What do they have authority over? And really, the authority is like, in this instance, kind of like space. Like, do they have the authority over a universe, a multiverse, an omniverse? So this is really what it comes down to between these two characters. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my opinion on the whole thing. Between the Beyonder and Thanos with the heart of the universe, I'm going to have to give this battle to the Beyonder. And here's why. Because Beyonder is himself that powerful without aid. So if he was to find a way to outsmart, which is really difficult against Thanos, but if he was able to find a way to separate Thanos from the heart of the universe, then I would say that it would be a curb stomping for Beyonder on Thanos. And that's what I have to give it to him. Also, we don't really know exactly what the heart of the universe would do against something that exists outside the multiverse. Whereas the Beyonder was able to come into our multiverse and tear it up. So, in the battle of Beyonder versus Thanos with Heart of the Universe, I have to give it to the Beyonder. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. As you noticed, I don't have my chair guy here today, so I gotta kind of figure this one out on my own. But that's alright, he shall return. Alright, this one, this seems like a pretty simple going thread. Beyonder versus Galactus. First person says Galactus. But it doesn't say why. Galactus is a pretty powerful entity. If you can take into consideration the backstory from the New 52, he was basically a previous universe's Eternity. Eternity, combined with a lone surviving scientist. And they lived together, they survived to the end of everything, and they moved on into the next creation. And what emerged from that fusion between these two was Galactus. And so, if you take that into account, in my opinion, that's extraordinary. Like, you would think that this Galactus would be capable of a lot more, since he's he was Eternity combined with a human scientist or humanoidish scientist. But we don't really see Galactus doing something that crazy powerful. However, even though we take an Eternity combined with some human scientists, I'm not entirely sure that would still level up against the Beyonder, because the Beyonder is toying with people much stronger than Eternity. Even when you watch in Secret Wars, Galactus got his butt whooped by the Beyonder. So, we'll see what other people have to say. Pre-retcon Beyonder or current Beyonder? It doesn't matter. Nope, doesn't matter. Current Beyonder. I think Galactus has this one. Well, how far are we retconning Beyonder? I mean, like, he's crazy high, and Galactus is, like, right here. And if we're dropping Beyonder from up here to, like, well, then that's a huge drop, because he was amazingly powerful. I don't think they've dropped Beyonder enough to be below Galactus. Even when Galactus has been like raised up to in Eternity in previous life levels, it's not that low. Beyonder, even in retcon, he's still a multiversal threat, and Eternity is only as powerful as the universe he exists in. He's literally the most powerful thing in a universe because he is the embodiment of the universe. So, let's move on. Let's see what people have to say before I call it. Galactus easily... Good lord, people! Okay, am I missing something? Like, alright, comment down below if there's something I just don't know about Galactus, or if apparently Galactus would be able to just stomp on Beyonder. I don't know, but in my opinion, I'm going to have to give this in the battle between Beyonder versus Galactus. I have to give this battle to the Beyonder, even if it is retcon, because that's extraordinary power. He's shaping reality on the multiversal scale, and Galactus can only help to do it on his own verse. So, yeah, I'm not tracking why everybody's saying Galactus in this one. But go ahead, if you know something I don't know, post it in the comment section down below, and we can all grow a little bit more. All right, here we go, and then we got Superman versus, oh my goodness. You know, if I see a bunch of people saying Superman is beating the Beyonder, I think I'm gonna quit. Battle Superman versus Son Goku. What? That has nothing to do with this discussion. The next one after that. That pretty dumb, this person announces. Beyonder gets rid of Galaxy. Superman, even at stronger, could what move a planet? Heck, now Superman would lose in a quick second. We have patience with people on the internet. Is this a contest to see who has the worst costume? The next person. Ha 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 ha. Superman still loses in a curb stomp. Well, Beyonder's kind of cool looking. Even when he turns into a human, that crazy... He somewhat resembles Superman when he turns into a human, you know. Come to think about it. Alright. No way Superman is like super fast, so he will accelerate so fast that he will become a bunch of super particles. Then he will slam into the Beyonder, who will lose his power for 10 seconds, and Superman will behead him. So yeah, Superman curb stomps. Eat it, fanboy. What? I don't care how fast you hit the Beyonder, he can control his particles beyond anything that Superman's ever thought of having authority over. There's no way you can just slam into him and... If you're going to do anything against the Beyonder, it's because the Beyonder let you. It's like playing with a pit bull and trying to get the bone out of its mouth. It's like, alright, I would like to get this bone so I can throw it so you can play fetch, but it's not until you release it that I can do anything with it. Yeah, right. What is Superman going to do? Even if he's moving fast? Superman with the Speed Force could not hit Beyonder hard enough to do that. Alright. That's hilarious. Instant counter target stupid. That wasn't just... Yes. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. How does this person still say? How the hell? Yeah, I agree. You're on crack if you think Beyonder's going to lose to Superman. Set sail for fail. I like where this thread is going. Woo! Alright, so clearly you know my opinion on this one. In the battle of the Beyonder versus Superman, I have to give this battle to the Beyonder. Alright. Now, typically we don't do more than 3, but I want to throw this one in there because this one actually sounds interesting to me. In this one, we got the Living Tribunal, who is the guardian, the protector of the multiverse, versus someone that came from outside the multiverse. So, they have battled before in the comics, but I want to go over what these people have to say. So, first up we have which version of Beyonder, the most powerful version, so pre-recon. Alright, Beyonder wins easily. I see. Let's see what it has to say. Oh yeah, we get to see all these different things where he's talking about how he could survive several dimensions being blown to pieces. Yes, we've all seen these. Yes, he's incredibly powerful, but I want to see what people have to say. No one can kill the Beyonder without his consent. I said that earlier. Beyonder would win here. You got it wrong, Living Tribunal is. Nope, classic Beyonder is above the Living Tribunal. You got it wrong, Living Tribunal. Pre-Retcon Beyonder is far above the Living Tribunal. The first and second Retcon Beyonder are not above the Living Tribunal. I agree with that. The next person literally does say, I agree. Beyonder, yes. Beyonder, the Beyonder. Beyonder, I thought the Living Tribunal was second after One Above All, which is true. But, I mean, that's within the multiverse, the Marvel multiverse. Yeah, it seems like a landslide for the Beyonder for the most part. I haven't seen any real in-depth. Really, how many are like the One Above All? You caught me. Alright, there's not a whole lot of beef to this. It's just a bunch of potatoes. I think the thread has been done many times already, but anyway, here's the correct answer. The Beyonder wins somewhat easily. Alright, so here's the deal. The Beyonder is basically like the entire Beyondverse in one being, or at least parts of it, because it's not entirely him. As we know, that entire Beyondverse is supposed to be condensed down into a cosmic cube by Molecule Man. However, it messed up, and part of it exploded out and then came back together, and that's what we call the Beyonder. And then the rest of it went into Owen Reese, which is Molecule Man. So he's not entirely he's not based, because it kind of sounds like how I'm describing him, that he's the eternity of the Beyondverse. However, he's somewhat incomplete. But that aside, he's still wildly powerful and could probably slap eternity if he wanted to. So, how I usually explain things by saying authority over doesn't necessarily work here, because how the writers portrayed the Beyonder, he's just wickedly powerful. And if they're deciding to use pre-retcon, which they said the most powerful version, so we're using pre-retcon Beyonder, he's probably going to be able to do the same thing to the Living Tribunal. Even after pre-retcon, we got some of the aliens from the Beyondverse came in, and it took 3 of them to kill the Living Tribunal. Excuse me. So I think that if we take the Beyonder pre-retcon version, he'd probably be toe-to-toe with in a dead match with the Living Tribunal, or he beats him, but just barely, just by a hair. So, in this one, in the battle of the Beyonder versus the Living Tribunal, I hate to say it, but I gotta give this one to pre-retcon Beyonder. Alright guys, so that was all of them. Let's go ahead and do a recap real quick. Ooh. First ones we had here were, it was Beyonder versus Thanos with the Heart of the Universe, and I said that battle was going to go to the Beyonder because of him innately being more powerful without any aid, which is Thanos has to use the Heart of the Universe to even compete. The next one is Beyonder versus Galactus, which in no way, shape, or form is Galactus going to win, really. If we go on to the next one, which is even more ridiculous, we got Galactus, I mean not Galactus, but Beyonder versus Superman. There's just no way, man! Superman's not gonna win! I mean, I can imagine someone's asking like, alright, well, let's step it up a notch. Let's take Superman Prime 1 million, who has, he's got some of the Source Wall in him, which is part of the President's power, it's part of his Triforce kind of thing going on. However, I don't think that's enough, because even then, that Superman had to borrow part of Lois Lane's DNA to make another Lois Lane, whereas the Beyonder could just be like, ha-ha, Lois Lane! Wanna see another one? Ha-ha! So, even then, I'd have to give the battle to the Beyonder. And then the last one, the Living Tribunal, which is literally second to none except the One Above All. Against the pre-retcon? Oh, it's really tough, but I guess in a pinch, I'd have to give it to the Beyonder, so there you guys have it. Thank you for joining me on another episode of YMS versus the Internet. As always, like and subscribe, and comment down below if you have anything that you want me to do next time for coming episodes. I'm always listening. I like to hear what you guys have to say. And then go ahead and chill out, my dudes. As always, your move, Internet.